Hey everyone, today I want to talk about different ways you can use acrylic inks. So I like a variety of acrylic inks and I seem to be on a whole acrylic ink kick lately, and I'm going to walk you through my process on different ways you can use them in your artwork. I am using Strathmore mixed media paper. I really love this paper, especially if you're going to use acrylic inks. I've been using it, if you're watching my channel, I've been using it a lot on just regular sketch paper. But today we're going to maybe add some additional layers and play around. And I just want to show you different ways you can use it, not just when you're sketching, but also in like a mixed media process. So I have a bunch of different colors here and a little bit of water there. I don't typically mix mine with water, but because we're doing a whole demo, I want to show you a few ways to use it. The first way you can use it is just grabbing any old paintbrush. Even if you don't want to use water, let's try this pretty blue right here. And I'm just going to lightly put it on the page. You can start by covering a page with just a color that you like and then sketch over it. And you can see as I continue on, it gets lighter and lighter. And if I add a little bit of water, I'm just tapping in, I'm not adding a lot of water, but you can even pull it out more. So you can experiment too with mixing different colors. I am loving this blue, but because it's still wet, what happens if I mix in another color? Again, I'm going to tap in a little water. I might just tap a little water on this, tap in this sort of tealy color, and then play around and see what happens. Again, a little bit of water here, and just almost like mark making. You can see how you can play around with it. I'm going to grab a different color right now. I think I'm going to do the green. And again, look how beautifully these colors blend and mix in and create sort of an interesting color scheme on your page, especially if you're doing mixed media. This is a great way to explore. Like this is, to me, it's starting to look like almost like a landscape if I wanted. So if you're interested in playing with your art supplies and wondering how they work, this is a super fun way to do it. And look, you can just sort of play around and see how that runs off the page. The other thing you don't want to be afraid of is you can grab some paper towel and you can sort of blot off some of, look at that pretty pattern that creates, and just blot off some of the ink if you want to, and go from there. And if you have a fear of a blank page, then there's nothing better than adding some acrylic ink to your page before you even begin. You can actually prep some of your pages before you even decide to draw with simple mark making with the ink. I find specifically that I love this ink when I don't even add any water to it. It's really fun for mark making and seeing what occurs. The other thing is I've got this huge brush here. I could literally just grab a color of my choosing. I think I thought I had another blue, but I don't think, actually I can kind of mix my colors together. Let me mix some blue with the teal blue because I kind of wanted to show you, like, let me just dab it all on here, okay? And now I'm going to take my brush and you can just like move it around and it layers really nicely, and you're playing with mark making before you even begin your artwork. Or this in itself could be your artwork, because then what you can do is just grab your paintbrush and get into some shapes. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of black. It's almost like I mixed a few colors to make it like a grayish color, but you can also do one of the things I've been showing you that I like is just basic mark making with random shapes and seeing what evolves. This is my kind of a favorite shape of mine right now. But you can see this sort of background is adding something to it. Now, I feel like sometimes this looks like a little bit like a landscape. So I'm just playing around with my supplies here. Oh, this is so much fun to do. I am just loving that overall look. And you can just do some circles. If ever you are wondering what to do with your art supplies or what you can draw or create, I really think mark making is a great tool for getting out of your comfort zone and playing with your art supplies. I'm really liking how this is looking. Now, once you have added a few things, right? Now you can add other art supplies on here if you want to, but today is all about the acrylic inks. There's a little bleeding happening there. I could easily lift this up and let those drips occur, but I'm kind of liking this. And once this dries, I could then, like I am liking this, I could then take this pink. I'm tempted to mix colors, but I'm not going to just for the sake of time. But I could take this pink and sort of go around. I'm gonna grab some more here. And I like to bring some of my colors down to different areas of my page to sort of make it cohesive and sort of bring it together. And that's why I'm adding pink in different places. But one of the things I'm noticing here is that I'm really liking this pink and this sort of neon green. That's the other thing with you when you play with your art supplies, is that you start really seeing what colors you like. Now remember, these inks are water soluble when they're wet. So when I add the pink over the blue, it becomes this really beautiful purpley shade. Oh, I like that. This might be good to use on watercolor paper as well. I'm just using mixed media paper, so I'm adding a lot to this particular sheet of paper, but overall I'm having a really good time. Now, the other thing I want to do now that I see that I'm liking is I could add this green. And what I wanted to show you is another strategy is play with your brushes. So I could grab this green here like this, and I could tap it. And it makes almost like a stippling effect. Don't be afraid to try your different brushes. I've probably had this brush for a long time, but it makes that nice stippling effect. I can also like really just almost makes it look like some trees. You can see how that smudging effect works. I'm really liking this. Now I'm going to grab some more. The other thing, just let's see what happens. Because it kind of liked the green with the pink. So now I'm just kind of playing around with that. So don't be afraid to layer on and see what happens. I'm kind of liking this. Super fun, super fun. Okay, so when it comes to, you can use this strategy for a couple of different ways. So this could be a warm-up exercise for you. This could be just getting your pages prepped for when you want to draw, but you don't want to stare at a blank page. This is a great starting point. You could do a whole bunch of these and then cut them up and glue them onto your other artwork, which is also fun. If I was using water paper, I'd probably explore more with, you know, adding more water and doing more smudging. Once this dries, you can add even more on top of it. Now you can add, when this dries, either more acrylic ink on top of it, or you can add other art supplies like colored pencils. And if you guys have been watching my channel, you know I'm really into like the tempera paint sticks that I have. You can just go in and add a little additional color if you want, just to make things stand out, and play around. The other thing I'm really liking is this sort of like tealy color here. So I'm going to get a little bit of blue because I'm really liking this blue, and I'm just playing around. And I like these tempera paint sticks because they kind of add a little bit of shading to my artwork. And I like the way it goes right over the ink, specifically when it's dry. That's still wet. I'm going to add a little bit right here because I'm really loving this green. So again, page prep, practicing playing with your art supplies, using different brushes. The next thing you can do with the acrylic inks is a little bit of writing. So you can use your acrylic inks as a way to add like writing or lettering. I've been practicing a lot with my, I don't know if I want to call it writing, like lettering, but I am, and I'm probably going to get into that in the future. Whoops. I'm probably going to get into that in the future, is adding fancier lettering to my artwork. And now this is, you know, you could use it for lettering. You can also do like one of the things I talked about was a semic writing, which is like it looks like writing, but it's not. Now I'm just mixing all my colors together. But this is a great way to, again, get started with a blank page or add certain elements to your artwork. Like you can draw, and then you could add some handwriting or a semic writing. And you can also make this a starting point, like I kind of did with this one, and then start going around the this ink. You could either wait for this to dry, or you could start going around. And just again, exploring with the art supplies, letting go of control, because that's when you make great discoveries when it comes to your art, what you like and what you don't like. Like, I kind of really like that. Mixing these colors together. I also wondered what happened if I mix this red and this pink together. It makes it like kind of almost like a vibrant red. Who needs to stare at a blank page when you have acrylic inks that you can play with and create beautiful textures, colors, and play around. Am I ruining it? Doesn't matter. Because again, if this is just, you don't want to stare at a blank page and you're going to go over this, this might just be a starting point. Then I'm going to grab my paintbrush. What colors do I have left here? Oh, I have this I really like this orange. You could tap it. This is perfect for if you're doing artwork and you just want like almost like a snow effect, but you can use different colors. And again, you can hold it up and allow it to drip down. You can also go over things. I know I'm going to play with this later. You'll have to stay tuned to see what happens with these particular pages, because I'm going to save these for later. And again, you can rip them up and use them in collage work. This is almost like a graffiti type thing here. You can add some white gel pen on top of it too. I really like this one I wasn't sure I was gonna like, but I'm actually kind of enjoying this. And then I wonder if I go in again with this. And oh, I know what else I could do. I'm making almost a purple, but another favorite pattern of mine. Don't be afraid to add patterns and lines. All right, that's the second page. Let's see what we can do next. We can use wet on wet. So I think I showed you that at the beginning, but I'm going to add a little water. And maybe we can try some flowers. See what else? I'm going to have to get some more colors. Pink is my favorite. Then I'm going to add this pink. I need a little bit of water. You're almost making like a bouquet of flowers. Now I'm just playing with this pattern. What a fun way to create flowers in a loose way. That is super fun. I think the key here is to play with your acrylic inks. You would be amazed at what you can do with them. And I'm only showing you right now acrylic inks on their own. But a lot of times I will do mark making with pencils or something else and then add acrylic inks on top. If you're new to my channel, I encourage you to check out my other videos so that you can see how I use my acrylic inks as part of my mixed media art practice. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I hope these demos helped you see how you could easily and quickly play with your acrylic inks and discover new ways to use it. I'm going to do another video on some more things you can do, but more in a mixed media way. If you have any questions about acrylic inks, please let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a wonderful day.